O Yahuwah Sabaoth. We sing and we praise your might. And this is Sister Adaya with Arise, O Yah. Hallelujah. And Yah Sabaoth will arise and his enemies will be scattered. So I pray that you are of those that are called and are chosen. And I pray that you're doing the will of our Almighty Yah Sebaoth, which He calls us to do, children of Yasharal. Be exalted, O Yahuwah, in your strength. We sing and we praise your might. I exalt you, O Yahuwah, for you have drawn me up and have not let my enemies rejoice over me. Oh, make Yahuwah great with me, and let us exalt his name together. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Let us exalt the name of Yah Sebaoth each and every day. And as always, as led by the eternal Rock Akadesh, I will speak. It's only this morning I was having a thought, and that's when the thought to also speak came to mind. That the worldly people, and even those who call themselves going to church, and even those in the Hebrew Israelite communities, they're having a whole lot of fun. They're appearing as though they're living their best life now. Celebration, celebration, celebration. But I'm reminded of this word where Yahuwah says that we are not to learn the ways of the heathens. Yahuwah has set apart days wherein we celebrate, wherein we observe, wherein we feast. And today's one, today is the preparation day, the 6th day of the week, onto such a day tomorrow, the Shabbat rest. Do you know the Shabbat rest of Yahuwah? Because this is a day wherein we celebrate Yah. While the world is busy getting their best sales on, this is a day whereby we rest. I say, Yahuwah rebuke you. Even the flies, because the flies are just wanting to harass me here as I'm here enjoying Abba Yah's creation. The Shabbat day is a day wherein we feast, we worship, we rest, we bless Yah, and we eat a whole lot of food. Hallelujah. And this is a kingdom day, it's a feast day, and that's on the 7th day of the week. So when you look again at Christendom, when you look at the world, when you look at religion at large, including the Hebrew Israelite camps, there's a lot of celebration going on. And you're wondering, where is the fasting and praying? And even when they do that, they do it publicly. When King Yahusha taught that when we fast, we're to do so as unto Yah in private, and Yah who sees in secret will reward us openly. So, beloved, we have to be mindful of partying all the time. We have to be mindful of always celebrating all the time. I'm not saying that you're not to be happy. You want to be celebrating the days Abba ordained for us to celebrate. One of them again being is set apart 7th day Shabbat day. We don't celebrate birthdays like we used to and like the pagans taught us to. However, when our date of birth, at one point we stopped celebrating, acknowledging our birthday. But I didn't feel comfortable that I wasn't acknowledging Abba Yah for blessing us to see another year. And so I started doing it a way that was at shalom for me. We do not do birthday parties, party hats, and all that we used to do. We do something very humble where I honor Yahuwah and bless him for my child that I'm honoring that day. So much so that we were in devotion honoring Yahuwah for my daughter turning 8 when the man had them to serve me divorce papers while we were in prayer watch. And because I was in prayer watch, when the heathen showed up at my door, I was able to bow down in my dining room, my green room, we call it, looking towards Jerusalem, and cry unto Yah, and he comforted me by his word, by his ruach, that he would deliver me. And you see this house, you're not able to see it, but it's a very big 2-story home, right? And Abba delivered me, and he caused the judge to give me the house. So we were celebrating, but we were honoring Yah, not doing living it up like the pagans do, forgetting your child in your car because you're celebrating birthday. They're not watching. They're not being vigilant. They're not being praying. They're honoring self. But on these days here, these special days where Yahweh bless us to live to see another year, we glorify Him and we watch and we still pray. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So while people are partying and living their best life now and pursuing happiness and pursuing wealth, not understanding that wealth comes from He who made us, while they're doing all this entertainment, which is a weapon of Satan, read first and second Shua, Adam and Shua, or Adam and Eve, or the Yah scriptures translation is Adam and Hawa, right? You'll see that the weapons of the enemy is entertainment, the dress code, and the perverted activities, and the drug sorcery. Nothing new under the sun. Uh, Adultery and sodomy. Those are things in the enemy's camp. And that is the perversion that they do. And we have to be vigilant. We can't entertain such spirits. We have to be vigilant, beloved, because Yahuwah is looking for his people in these last days to be set apart, to be the light, to be the salt, to be that city on a hill whereby even your neighbors can see that you're different, that you're set apart. Not in a proud way, not in a haughty way, but in a respectful manner. So this won't be a long live this morning. I thought this morning earlier when I got up, I felt like I wasn't going to be able to speak. But when I had that thought, Yahuwah quickened me to speak. And I just want to bless Abba, beloved. And that's one thing you're going to get from Sister Ada. Even if you were to visit my home, we praise Yah. Abba bless my son. He turned 15. He's talented, very gifted young man. From he was a babe, you could come over and at the door he would greet you and you could tell by the things that this young child would be doing that he's not an ordinary child. So he turned 15 on the 27th. He composes music, and I've learned that as that we're of the tribe of Levi. Abba Yah revealed this to me, not man, that as the sons of Asaph would sing unto Yah, right? Of the tribe of Levi, I said to him, hey, why don't you make a song unto Yah and we'll sing on Shabbat? Why don't you make a new song? So he turned 15. I didn't buy him an album. I didn't buy him secular music. I did see this one book at a thrift store that I'm going to get for him for classical music because he does compose his own music. So with that being said, again today, I gave him some more gifts. And I call him and I say, hey, go ahead and glorify Abba Yah. And he's like, yeah, I thank Abba for that which I received today, the 29th, and yesterday, and the day before, because you want to train your babies up to what? Not just party, party, party. And this clubbing. How about these college young ladies that go to clubs but they don't make it back to their dorm room? Where was the counsel at home before they go off to college? One mom confessed that she didn't even talk about safety. She was all about the grades, all about getting in these sororities or whatever you call them. That's what she was all about. And now her child end up what? Deceased. So I train my children to give thanks unto Abaya. So again, I said to him this morning, hey, how about you write a song of thanksgiving unto Yah, okay? And we'll sing along with them on the Shabbat. And the Rocket gave him a song to sing back in, I don't even know the year, but this was when we were in North Dakota. He was young, and we were celebrating the feast of Shabbat in our prayer closet. So, prayer closet was actually like a walk-in closet that could be an office, or and it had a window, and we're up there in North Dakota. Real beautiful, and it had a view. So we were in there, and he got up and he left, and I'm like, where is Isaiah? And he came back with the song that the Rock gave him to compose, and we sang it with them, and I could sing a bit of it. Holly, 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 hallelujah. Uh, holly, 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 hallelujah. Uh, holly, 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 hallelujah. No, he was a mere child, right? That's years ago. And that is the highest praise. Hallelujah. And they have a remix version. He has a remix version of it. So the point is, beloved, we celebrate as Yahuwah people. We are happy, right? And we acknowledge Abaya when our date of birth come around, because even in celebrating birthday, you realize that the day that you're born is not the same, but the date is the same, right? And if you were doing a Hebrew calendar, you'll realize that it's totally off, because the Hebrew calendar has 360 days and not 364 and a quarter days. So the point I want to make is this: you're going to celebrate, but you're going to celebrate by honoring Yah. And then you bless and give to each other. Then you honor one another. But don't go out there in the clubs saying that you're Hebrew Israelites. Don't go to certain parties, beloved, if it's sin, because we got to shun even the very appearance of evil. As a child of Yah, you want to be set apart even in your celebrating. Back to Yahuwah said, learn not the ways of the heathens. The double-edged sword of the rock will always be swung on Arise, O Yah channel, because Yah Sabaoth will arise and he will scatter his enemies. So let's get to this celebration of Christmas, Christmas. Are you still celebrating Christmas, saying that you know Yahuwah and you know Yahusha Mashiach? Are you still celebrating the pagan holiday of Easter, saying you know Yahuwah and his one true Messiah, King Yahusha Mashiach? Beloved, I must say, if you're celebrating those holidays and you're saying that you know the one true Yah and his one true Messiah, I am going to say to you, you don't. Because if you know Yah and if you know his one true Messiah, King Yahushua Mashiach, then you'll know that those pagan holidays are such. They have nothing to do with the one true Yah. And Yah say what? Do not learn the ways of the heathens. I'm going to share the word of Yah in Jubilees chapter 1. And not my will, but Aliyah, good and perfect, will be done. So we're going to hear how Yahuwah feel about the holidays of the pagans here in the reading of Jubilees chapter 1. So, these are not Sister Ada Yah words, that these are the words of the Almighty Yah. And like I said, we do a lot of celebrating. Even my grocery shopping, I do in a celebratory mode, because, we do the Shabbat. So I buy my groceries for Shabbat. I buy my grocery for if we're gonna honor someone who is having the anniversary of their birth on a particular day. So we honor Yahuwah, we glorify him. When Abba bless us with increase, we I remember Abba blessed us with increase in our food budget, and I bought these expensive tortilla on Amazon, real big tortilla, and I got the lamb leg, and I got all the fixings, and for Shabbat we made, each of us made our own big taco, hallelujah, or burrito. It was more like a burrito, and it was so big the baby's gonna eat it at one time. This is all we do. This is all we do, Auntie. Yeah. So here, all you who feel about the pagan holidays, and you could think of them, you know them: Christmas, Easter, Valentine's Day, and whatever other pagan holiday. While we're here in the land of Yasharal, are we still supposed to celebrate them, saying we know Yahuwah and Yahusha? And it came to be in the first year of the children of Yashar coming out of Mitzrayim in the third month, on the 16th day of the month, that Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, Come up to me on the mountain, and I shall give you 2 tablets of stone of the Torah and of the command, which I have written, that you may teach them. And this is Jubilees chapter 1. You could find it in the YAH scriptures. And Moshe went up into the mountain of Yahuwah, and the glory of Yahuwah dwelt on Mount Sinai, and a cloud overshadowed it 6 days. And he called to Moshe on the 7th day out of the midst of the cloud, and the appearance of the glory of Yahuwah was like a flaming fire on top of the mountain. And Moshe was on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights, and Yahuwah taught him the earlier and the latter history of the division of all the days of the law and of the witness. And he said, Incline your heart to every word which I shall speak to you on this mountain, and write them in a book, in order that their generations may see how I have not forsaken them for all the evil which they have done in transgressing the covenant which I established between me and you for their generations this day on Mount Sinai. And so it shall come to be, when all these matters come upon them, that they shall recognize that I am more righteous than they in all their judgments and in all their actions, and they shall recognize that I have been true with them. And you shall write for yourself all these words which I declare to you this day, for I know their rebellion and their stiff neck, before I bring them into the land of which I swore to their fathers, to Abraham and to Yitzchak and to Jacob, saying, Unto your seed I shall give a land flowing with milk and honey, and they shall eat and be satisfied, and they shall turn to strange mighty ones, to mighty ones which cannot deliver them from any of their tribulation, and this witness shall be heard for a witness against them. For they shall forget all my commands, even all that I command them, and they shall walk after the Gentiles, and after their uncleanness, and after their shame, and shall serve their mighty ones. And these shall come to be an offense to them, and a tribulation, and an affliction, and a snare. And this is why we can't worship Jesus Christ anymore. Because right here in Jubilees 1 verse 9, Abba say what would have happened when he turned his face from his people, Yasharal. He said that we would have walked after the Gentiles and their uncleanness, and after their shame, and shall serve their mighty one. Okay? And Abba said these here cannot even deliver us from our tribulations. And it's true. And these shall come to be an offense to them, and a tribulation, and an affliction, and a snare. So Jesus Christ is what? A snare, a trap. And you need to know that King Yahushua Mashiach has broken that snare, broken that trap. But you must believe. And many shall perish, and they shall be taken captive, and they shall fall into the hands of the enemy, because they have forsaken my laws and my commands, and the festivals of my covenant, and my Shabbath, and my Kodesh place, which I have sanctified for myself in their midst, and my temple, and my sanctuary, which I have set apart for myself in the midst of the land, that I should place my name upon it, and there it should dwell. And they shall make for themselves high places and asherim and carved images, and they shall worship each his own, so as to go astray, and they shall offer their children to devils, and to all the works of the straying of their hearts. So sad. And I shall send witnesses to them, that I may witness against them, but they shall not hear, and shall slay the witnesses also. And they shall persecute those who seek the law, and they shall overturn and change also, as to work evil before my eyes. And I shall hide my face from them, and I shall deliver them into the hand of the Gentiles for captivity, and for prey, and for devouring, and I shall remove them from the midst of the land, and I shall scatter them among the Gentiles. And they shall forget all my Torah, and all my commands, and all my right rulings, and shall go astray as to new moons, and Shabbath, and festivals, and the jubilees, and laws. And so I would say that we would forget his Torah, we would forget his commands, we would forget his right rulings, we would forget it, go astray from his new moons. As the next feast day that we used to celebrate the new moon of each month. And that was a big celebration in our home also, where we would dress up and celebrate the feast days of Yahuwah and his Shabbat and festivals and the jubilees and laws. So Abba is gonna bring us back home, Yasharal. He says it here in Jubilees chapter 1. And what you want to do is to put away the pagan celebrations and live a sweet, humble, peaceful life in Yahuwah Sabaoth. Yahuwah promised, beloved, that after this, they shall turn to me from among the Gentiles with all their heart and with all their being and with all their strength. And I shall gather them from among the Gentiles, and they shall seek me, so that I shall be found by them when they seek me with all their heart and with all their being. And I shall reveal to them great shalom with righteousness. And I shall plant them in this land in truth with all my heart and with all my being, and they shall be for a blessing and not for a curse, and they shall be the head and not the tail. And before I come outside, there's these songs that will bless me to sing. You could find them right here. If you click on my Spotify podcast right here on YouTube under the description, you'll hear these beautiful songs that Abba blessed me to sing. And those are songs you could play in your events, beloved. Those are songs that you could play on the Shabbat. I even have a Shabbat playlist. I don't know if that's public. But before I came down, I was dancing, right? Dancing to the songs Abba blessed me to sing, dancing unto Yah. And when Yahweh says he's gonna turn to us with all his heart, with all his soul, with all his being, beloved, this makes me happy because no, Yahshua, that we're loved, right? And we just want to cast off everything pagan. Abba understand that we're in the world, but he said we're not of the world. So we're gonna make these conscious decision, and the first pagan to be cast off is the pagan idol, Jesus Christ. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And Abba says, and I shall build my temple in their midst, and I shall dwell with them, and I shall be their Yahuwah, and they shall be my people in truth and righteousness. And I shall not forsake them nor fail them, for I am Yahuwah their father. And Moshe fell on his face and prayed and said, Oh, Yahuwah my father, do not forsake your people and your inheritance, so that they should wander in the straying of their hearts. And do not deliver them into the hands of their enemies, the Gentiles, lest they should rule over them and cause them to sin against you. Let your kindness, O Yahuwah, be lifted up on your people, and create in them an upright rock, and do not let the spirit of Belial rule over them, to accuse them before you. and to ensnare them from all the paths of righteousness, so that they might perish from before your face. But they are your people and your inheritance, which you have delivered with your great power from the hands of the Mizrites. Create in them a clean heart and a Kodesh rock, and do not let them be ensnared in their sins from this time and forever. So this is the prayer Moshe prayed. And Abba loved Moshe. He was faithful in the house of Yahuwah, and he led the people of Yashua in uprightness. And Yahuwah said to Moshe, I know their unruliness and their thoughts, and they are stiff-necked people, and they shall not be obedient till they confess their own sin and the sin of their fathers. And after this they shall turn to me in all uprightness, and with all their heart, and with all their being, and I shall circumcise the foreskin of their heart, and the foreskin of the heart of their seed. And I shall create in them a Kodesh spirit, and I shall cleanse them, so that they shall not turn away from me from that day unto eternity. And their beings shall cling to me to all my commands, and they shall perform my commands, and I shall be their father, and they shall be my children. Hallelujah. And they shall all be called children of the living Yah, and every messenger and every rock shall know, even they shall know that these are my children, and that I am their father in uprightness and righteousness, and that I love them. And you shall write down for yourselves all these words which I declare unto you on this mountain, the first and the last, which shall come to be in all the divisions of the days, in the law, and in the witness, and in the Shabbath, and the Jubilee forever, until I descend and dwell with them forever. And he said to the messenger of the presence, Write for Moshe, from the beginning of creation, till my sanctuary has been built among them forever. And Yahuwah shall appear to the eyes of all, and all shall know that I am the father of Yasharal, and the father of all the children of Jacob, and covering King Amma Zion forever. And Zion and Jerusalem shall be set apart. And the messenger of the presence, who went before the camp of Yasharal, took the tablets of the divisions of the years, from the time of the creation of the law and of the witness of the Shabbath, of the Jubilees, according to the individual years, according to all the number of the Jubilees, from the day of the creation, when the Shemaim and the earth shall be renewed, and all their creation according to the powers of the Shemaim, and according to all the creation of the earth, until the sanctuary of Yahuwah shall be made in Jerusalem on Mount Zion, and all the lights be renewed for healing and for peace and for a blessing for all the chosen of Yasharal. And so it shall be from that day on to all the days of the earth. These are the words of our sovereign Yah. This is a reading of Jubilees, chapter 1. Beloved, know that Yahuwah Sabaoth, He loves us with an everlasting love. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So I'm looking for a word here in Jubilees 6 came to mind as I was reading Jubilees 1. Okay. So I'm in Jubilees chapter 6. So remember, beloved, it is okay to celebrate. Well, we want to celebrate according to how Yahuwah say to celebrate. So Jubilees chapter 6, reading from verse 35, Abba says, I know, and from this time on I shall declare to you, and it is not of my own devising, for the book is written before me, and on the tablets of the Shemaim the division of days is ordained, lest they forget the festivals of the covenant, and walk according to the festivals of the Gentiles, after their straying and after their ignorance. So we're not to walk according to the festival of the Gentiles. And I went over Jubilees 1. This is the verse I was hoping to find. The rock helped me to remember as I'm reading Jubilees 1. That is Jubilees 6. However, Jubilees 1, Abba did touch on that. We would depart from his Torah, his commands, his new moon days, his Shabbat days, the festival of his covenant. Yahweh do everything on purpose. So why do someone celebrate Christmas and Easter and those pagan holidays? They're honoring Jesus Christ, right? So when we celebrate the Shabbat, the seventh day Shabbat on tomorrow, when we celebrate Abba Yah feast days in his land when he bring us home, we are honoring Yahuwah. Because he say here in Jubilees chapter 6 verse 35 that on the tablets of the Shemayim, the division of days is ordained, right? Lest they forget the festivals of the covenant. So Abba feast days are the festivals, the feast of his covenant that he made with our forefathers, and walk according to the festivals of the Gentiles. So this is what we're not to do. So we are to observe Shabbat. That is the righteous thing. We're honoring Yahuwah. When we celebrate Shabbat, we're honoring Yahuwah. When we celebrate Sunday, we're not honoring the one true Yah and his one true Messiah. We would be walking according to the festivals of the Gentiles after their straying and after their ignorance. So let us remember, beloved, that the seventh day Shabbat falls on every Saturday, and I don't get into disputes about that. The Ruach HaKodesh of Yah is given, and she gives us spiritual wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And if you haven't yet done so, you could get the Yah scriptures in the Google Play Store. And go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you're a Wise Black Princess, I invite you to join me over at Wise Black Princess. And if you so desire to be inspired, motivated, and hear more about the wonderful testimonies that Yah has delivered me, and this blueprint that Yah is going to help us to generate an extra $8,000+ a month, I invite you to join the Wise Black Princess Prophets community. And you could learn more about that over on Wise Black Princess channel. So remember, beloved, it's okay to celebrate. It's okay to be happy, but do not sin. That means we're going to celebrate the feast days of Yahuwah, the seventh day Shabbat here, and when we go of Yahshua, keeping, guarding Yahuwah, new moon days, and his feast days, when our King Yahushua Mashiach, the one true Messiah, is reigning. I want to say forgive me because I didn't think I was going to go 30 minutes, and I see I'm past that half-hour mark. But to Yah be the glory. Hallelujah. Great things he has done. Let us give him thanks and give him praise, and let us glorify his name, for he has been good. He is good to us. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I'm trying to work on this um yeah. Thank Abba for blessing me with my expensive tablet here, and I need to get it up and going for YouTube, because all my tech shall be used to glorify Yah. So subscribe to the channel. Keep the Shabbat day holy. Today is the 6th day. You could work up until tonight at some point, but do not let the sun rise tomorrow and you're cooking or cleaning. Take rest, Yahshua. Take rest. At the appointed time, Abba, may Abba give me words to speak on him giving us power to increase wealth, to keep his covenant with our forefather Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaqub. Hallelujah. Yahuwah, be glorified, magnified, and exalted above all forever. I would say, let Yah arise, let his enemies be scattered. Hallelujah.